Are we live? I said, are we live? Oops. A little X-rated there. Are we live? Are we live in his app? That's all I want to know. Are we live? That's all I ask. Are we live? Well, if we live, then let's hit it. Gotta hear some music. Let's get it.
Yeah. The one-man show. One-man show. You know what's wrong with this country? A whole lot, huh? Do you know? No. I know, but y'all don't know. That's why we doing this. I'm doing this. A whole lot's going on. Yeah.
I'm defiant.
A legend. A giant.
I must be.
The most gifted SOB to ever hold the MIC. I'm sure fat ain't geeking. Beat me to you is a salami. So you're wrong because you get my soul and your day home instead of blessing me or accepting me. You supposed to be trapping me, trying to lock me into your love fantasy world. But I think it was the truth. I'll let my knowledge of hunger over. Who says what's gift? Who says what's in? Get the fool, my friend, but just follow blindly. So with that, we remind me of this culture of the black community. So that my white it's a new slavery. They got you over your shoulder praying. You don't get pulled over. I can remember when I see love locked up from the pen, doing hard time but don't crime. I really get caught up on all the solution. What is it? Other brothers like me, it's all a revolution. We can do it back. That's my job. This is talent all over God.
Hey.
Yo, we need a revolution. What the solution is that? I don't know. You always see your gun right on the objective. I don't even know on the objective. How you like that when you want? Like I be taking pictures and keep chasing your eye. I'm chasing the sky, blazing like Star Trek. The only thing I wreck is a sound barrier. My unique style living like a mail carrier. Another person a month, but I'm on a front seat trunk. I'm front like a football. They can't get all you ball. Flower in your face. I do my damage and dance on a street. I don't do the record. I'm trying to make a difference. These can't change, but things stay the same. Yo, how can I ease the pain? I get a trip for your afflictions. I'm looking for your last house ready. You'll never even know why. Why? Instead of stopping to see, you got to that's what get by. Calling me a friend over his grave. Watching the new generation of high-tech slaves. You see how he was doing? Yeah, and listen, people that look out for his people. You see the same thing with the weed and the damn needle. Yo, what's the solution? Like, you know we need a revolution. Now, come on. We need a revolution, yo. We're going right. There's always come on and this is talent all along with God. Going right. It's always hard. This is talent all along with God. Solution. I'm out. I was there, but now I'm ready. Right? I'm not gonna rock the way I'm doing that. I'm feeling my bad. All you haters pump me up the movie. I like it to do songs. Don't sing it, just bring it. Cause I'm not gonna get sick. Close the door. I'm not an ass you can keep on waiting for. I got a phone, mother. What is it going to act of own risk. Some ass like I get laid, but I'm more concerned with laying you down for no good. Clean up these names for the hood. I'm not practicing like a lethal weapon. So hide out in the project when you feel AIDS, bring you to the table. See you change the diamond ring. In the old school battle, we don't mean that damn thing. Get your boys with you, you free. I got batteries. All I need is my Casio, or I'll flip your heart. The help of the casino in Delaware, I found my luck. Swing your butt, to watch a whole film with my dad. I go to the house like me. The start of revolution, yo.
One day.
We'll find a solution.
We need a revolution. Don't ask me. I don't know.
It's always hard. Like now it's all long for we yeah, my job. You want to be hard. Take care of home. You really should get up in the morning. You know, like the day morning. And then I got food in the morning. You know what I'm talking about. So we do something, ain't nothing gonna get done. You gonna keep waiting on the valley. You gonna wait on the white man. You wait on Bush. Shit ain't gonna change. And that's the truth. And I don't care if you like it or you don't like it.
We need a revolution.
I'm coming at you, and I'm telling
What's
you.
the solution?
That's why you're dealing with you niggas all over from God. You can keep on letting something, and when you try to get shot up, we need a revolution. You try to get locked up. The only thing you want to do, you want to keep crying about it, and nobody gonna give a shit. I don't know that on one man show, and I'm out of here. And that's the word. You can't deal with it. Go call in a hole and die.
We need a revolution. Alrighty, y'all. Welcome to the show. Welcome. Well, what's this, the third time today? Welcome to the Minister Brother Derek Show. We didn't split the day together. I had to take a little rest because I was tired. Now, I went on the bike ride, and y'all ain't even come. And I had forgot to bring the chain mount that's supposed to be on my body, and I had to switch everything around, and I put, even with image stabilization, which the Samsung camera has, the lights were still bouncing. It's really, I really feel like I wasted my time. We got the new seat on. We got a problem though. He put it on too high. So I can't lean back because I gotta hold the handlebars. So later on, I'm gonna try. Chun-Li says she watched it on playback. I'm gonna try to lower it myself. If I can't, I'll let him do it Thursday. But the trailer supposed to come Thursday. And so he said come back Thursday. If you watch the video, you already know. But I had rode back by there. It got dark by then, and he was like, bring it back Thursday. So, but he fixed the alarm so it don't spin around. He fixed the lights at the back. We got the hookup. The only thing is it's too high. So I'm gonna get the pliers out. I'd have been on sooner, but me and Liz was talking, and I see she said she was out to message me while I wasn't live because we were talking, but then I had to order the food. So I ordered the food, thanks to Chun-Li for the money, and now that we're using the tablet, I got the phone sitting here, I can look, because sometimes it don't ring. Let me make sure the volume up, because I don't like it. Because they'll sit there and say, oh, you didn't answer the phone. And then you don't, yeah, I'm going to try it. Luckily, he did the hard stuff, but the seat, it sits back like this. It's supposed to be like this. It sits back like this because that's the way the bike goes. It goes back. It actually goes back. So I'm gonna try and lower it. And he got the alarm sitting there. I'm gonna try. Chun-Li said I was flying. Well, actually, the one good thing about it being up and back like that, my knees, it's giving me this much more room for my knees to rotate. So it's making it easy to pedal. That's why I'm tired too, because I was able to pedal. Like Chun-Li said, I was flying. Yeah, we did have a good conversation. And that's the one thing that makes us a family. I'm trying to get more people to talk to me behind the scenes. And like I said, thank you, Liz, Naya, Chun-Li, for the good debate that we had today. I love debates like that. It keeps me in practice for when the idiots come over here. So I love them. I hope y'all don't take them personal. Remember what I say? Leave your feelings at the door. Come on in here and be yourself. A lot of times people want to, that doesn't help anybody. Because when they go out in the real world, ain't nobody gonna listen. That's why I try to give you information that you can take and use and people will listen to. Because I imagine it. I imagine sometimes y'all are at work at the water cooler and somebody will come by and say something that they heard. And then you can say, who the heck told you that? Let me tell you the real deal. And then you can educate and watch the other people come around. When you can tell them what's really going on. Liz said, laugh out loud. It's crazy how people think a disagreement will cause some way to stay away. Well, I appreciate that, Liz. That's why I say this chat not for everybody. You got a lot of thin-skinned people. Like I said, there was a woman that had a show yesterday, and you had two women on there arguing about paying $1,000 for a wrench, and two other women telling them to shut up at the same time. And I'm sitting there like, I would be embarrassed for somebody to know that I paid $1,000 for a wrench. Something that's free. And somebody would say, well, that's why you're not a businessman. If you was a businessman, you would sell your wrenches too. Here you earn a wrench. I think that makes the wrench more valuable. The fact that you have to earn it. It's easy to buy something, but earn it. You appreciate it more. Because you earned it. And once you earn something, it's kind of hard for somebody to take it back from you. But I don't understand why people be so proud and yeah, you better leave her alone, she'll buy your wrench. If the host don't appreciate me chatting in this chat, why would I want to be there? It bothers me. You know, we ain't got that many people that we blocking out. It hurts to block people. Now maybe if we had 1,000 people watching, it'd be something different. You wouldn't miss 5. You know, but if you got 5 watching and you got to get rid of one, you notice it. It bothers you. So maybe because we've never been that big, maybe I don't understand it. But I appreciate everybody that click on my videos. I ain't the tallest person in the world. I ain't the handsomest person in the world. I ain't the richest person in the world. My best asset is what come out my mouth. I will say it. I'm not good at anything. I'm not great with anything, but I can do a little bit of everything. Sometimes that little bit could be just what you need at that moment. So that's why I don't get in my feelings. I might not be the best at anything, but God darn it, I can do a little bit of everything. And they come in handy, a jack of all trades. You have a house that just survived a flood. Having a plumber there is great. But what happens if the water has eaten through the walls? You need somebody that knows something about putting the wall back together. What if the water has washed away your front steps? You need somebody that might know how to do some concrete. It might not be the perfect job, but it's better to have some stairs than no stairs. I'd rather be able to do a little bit of everything than to be stuck on one thing. And that's the only thing I can do. And that's why we are the most hybrid show, because we don't just do one thing. But if we need to do something, we flexible. If we need to beef, then we can beef. We don't need it though. If we want to show World Star and comment on it, we can do it. If we want to show news videos, we can do it. If we want to do religion, we can do it. If we want to do articles on how people can come together, how you can make your situations better, how you can clean up your neighborhoods, your schools, pick your politicians, we can do it. If you want to talk about the wrestling, we can do it. We are the most hybrid show there is. But we don't just let anybody just come in here. We don't just let you come in here. Just, no. You say something, you got to back it up. Some people can't handle that. They expect to be able to just say something, and you should have no right to question them. Well, how do you come to the person that asked the questions and expect not to be questioned? I'm just saying. How do you expect to come to the person that asks the questions and never get questioned? All right, let's hit the back button. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. Online FedEx tracking. Yep. 9/17/2020. It's doing the same thing it did last time, Chung Lee. It supposed to came on the 10th, and it didn't come. They said the same thing. It was in Hagerstown in the wee hours of the morning, and it sat there. It sat there in Hagerstown, and then it wasn't until it said Sparrows Point. When it say Sparrows Point, then you know it's coming. Did I send you the link? Remind me to send you the link. Matter of fact, let me see if I can grab it right now before I forget. So you can watch too. And yeah, and it'd be easy for me to grab that too. Uh-oh. All right, copy it. All right, go to Hangouts. Where is Chung Lee? All right, paste. All right, Chung Lee, I sent it to you so you can track it too. All right. You got it? Chung Lee says you can learn from your chat, and people fail to realize that. Because they don't want to learn. Because you got to think. Don't nobody want to think. Me and Liz was talking about that tonight. That's why everybody like them songs. Hey, woo, hey, whoosh, song, hey. Nobody want to think. You just want to, hey, yay, way, hey, words. Hey, hey. They don't want to, they don't even know the words. What's the words to the song? I don't know. All I know is hey. You didn't get it? Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. I have two of you. So hold on. Where's the other one? Where's the other one? Is that it? Okay. All right, I'll put it here too. Is that the right one? All right. All right, I sent it to you twice, two different ways. Baby, you ate your food that quick. I just filled that food up. You ate your food that quick. I know you ain't ate your food that quick, because I hear you over there banging the tin. You ate your food that quick. Let me play the first video. All right, she said she got it. All right, let's play the first video here. Oh, I had the link, and I just sent Chung Lee a link, so hold on, I gotta go get it again. Wait a minute. I had the link already. We gotta go back. Where did I have it? In it. I believe it's under. In it. Gotta find it. All right, here we go, y'all. We got a lot to look at, so let's go ahead and get started. All right. I believe this is the Atlanta PD still crying. This is 11 News Alive, September 15, 2020. Current news.
Police officers continue to resign, with a new report showing almost 30 leaving last month. Hope Ford talked to the police union, which is blaming low morale for all of this.
Reports from the Atlanta Police Department show nearly 30 officers resigned in August. An additional 11 retired and 3 recruits were dismissed for undisclosed reasons. This is the second time APD reported multiple resignations in a short period of time since the beginning of summer. Sergeant Jason Segura, president of the International Brotherhood of Police Officers, said many officers are leaving for nearby sheriff and police departments.
We're losing some of our best, some of our absolute best, most knowledgeable, most well-respected. They've just gotten to a point where they can't do it anymore.
Segura says this all stems from the termination of 8 officers over the summer. Segura called out Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, saying the officers were fired without due process and proper investigation into the force. The interim police chief acknowledged the resignation, saying it's similar to what's happening on a national level. But Segura says he's worried that this will leave the department understaffed. Tonight on Up Late at 11, I'll have more from the and how many open positions there are within the department.
Okay, what's it? Damn! Hey, Davey, I'm sorry.
Up first in the history of U.S. law enforcement.
Taking fire. We are taking fire.
A rolling shootout with hostages with automatic weapons. Scores of police cars hit as gunmen indiscriminately fire an AK-47 from an SUV speeding through the streets of Stockton, California. The 3 heavily armed gunmen had just robbed this bank. Women hostage. One of them, Miss Singh, withdrew money for a hair appointment from the ATM. 12-year-old daughter watching nearby. Gunman uses her mother as a human shield. For 62 minutes, police car after police car pursue the SUV, reaching speeds of 120 miles per hour. One hostage thrown out of the SUV. Another jumps for her life. But Holt Singh is still inside with the 3 gunmen. There are so many bullets from the SUV. 14 cars are disabled, including an armored SWAT vehicle. The gunmen refusing to surrender. Officers so terrified they text their loved ones while in pursuit, fearing they won't survive. Then comes this final moment. The gunfire goes on and on.
Well, that was about 300 gunshots.
It was actually much more.
Whoa,
Now,
look
more
at
than a year
that.
later, this independent investigation by the Washington-based Police Foundation found more than 600 shots were fired. The hostage, Misty Holt Singh, was struck 10 times by police bullets, killing her instantly. The report described a chaotic scene with very little control, just police officers trying to stop a threat.
The report did identify a need for more training and response plans for heavily armed hostage situations, which we'll review.
This is a classic case of contagious fire.
Meaning one cop fires and the others follow suit.
You've got
That's what happened with Breonna
control
Taylor.
the situation. You don't let the situation control you. You got to be tactically aware. If rounds are being fired at you, you want to distance yourself from that. You want to get the proper resources to the problem.
And that didn't happen in this case.
Not in this case.
Hey, so these are brand new next-gen 2020.
Dang, you snuck me. I was grabbing the mask. All right. When was that? That's old. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, that was old. That was August 15th. That was August 2015. My bad, y'all. That was my bad on that, y'all. But I was feeding Davey. You know, I had to open that new bag up. That new bag is heavy. That new bag is heavy. Let's get on to our next story. Let me clap that link down. Copy that linky dink. Take it up top. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You supposed to hit the backspace. That's it. I don't know why I kept forgetting that. All right. Excuse me, y'all. It's been a long day. I'm kind of tired.
First at 5, a man is dead after investigators say a San Antonio police officer was forced to shoot him while trying to serve domestic violence warrants.
The altercation unfolding a few hours ago in the 100 block of Willie Drive. That's on the city's west side.
Devin Clark there now and joins us now live with the very latest from the scene. Devin?
Well, Ursula and Steve, you can see that the scene is still pretty active this evening as investigators have this corner house here on Willie and Yolanda surrounded where all of this unfolded earlier just before 2 o'clock. Onlookers, police just swarming this area. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says that officers were trying to serve the man with 2 warrants, one for domestic violence, bodily injury, and the second for a bond violation for family violence. McManus says that the man who was outside in the front yard became aggressive when officers tried to arrest him and that he hit one of them in the head with a can of paint. At that point, McManus says the two were wrestling on the ground and that the suspect was able to get the officer's gun from his holster. And as the two fought over the gun, McManus says another officer fired 1 shot, hitting the suspect who was pronounced dead at the hospital. McManus stressing tonight that the information he gave us is preliminary and details could change once he gets a chance to review body cam footage. Earlier, though, he did provide some details as to why police were here in the first place.
We typically serve these kinds of warrants, especially when there's a clear and present danger to the victim of the family violence from the suspect. And that's why we were out here, and it was important for us to serve that warrant today.
And Chief McManus says that the officer who was hit in the face with a can of paint is okay. He's suffering from some minor bruises, but expected to be okay. And we do want to mention that we did get a chance to speak to neighbors who live in the area who say that they've known the suspect for years. They are very surprised because they say that it wasn't in his character to be violent or aggressive. You'll hear from one of those neighbors coming up on the news at 6. For now, reporting live on the west side, Devin Clark, KSAT 12 News.
He's wanted for a domestic violence case, but he's not violent. Okay, so he's not violent around men then. Yeah. Now, once again, nobody should be killed, but that man helped himself. Slapping that cop in the head with the paint can. Let's keep it going. We looking at the news.
Developing story, this time from the west side. San Antonio police have cleared the scene after an officer shot and killed a man who they were trying to arrest on domestic violence warrants. The police chief says that man got a hold of an officer's gun that forced another officer to shoot.
Devin Clark is there live this evening, and Devin spoke to the man's children and a family spokesperson who say they believe the story they're hearing just isn't adding up. Devin.
That is right, Myra and Stephen. Before we get to that, I want to show you what the scene looks like right now. The situation unfolded in this yard right here at this house. And if you look and see these cabinets, neighbors and witnesses say that the man who was shot was actually in the process of trying to refinish the cabinets when police tried to serve him with the warrant. Just moments ago, the man's children arriving here saying that they are in a state of disbelief about what police say happened. The family identified.
Hello? Hello? Delivery? All right, come out right now. All right. Hold on, y'all. Right way. Right, right. All right. All right. Whew, I'm out of breath. Hey, now you finally made it.
Identified the man as Daryl Zamolt Sr. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says officers were trying to serve him with 2 warrants, one for domestic violence, bodily injury, and the second for a bond violation for family violence. And McManus says that Zamolt, who was outside in the front yard, became aggressive when officers tried to arrest him, and that he hit one of them in the head with a can of paint. At that point, McManus says the two were wrestling on the ground and that Zamolt was able to get the officer's gun from the holster. As the two fought over the gun, McManus says another officer fired one shot, hitting Zamolt, who was pronounced dead at the hospital. Now, Zamolt's children, who say that their father was shot in the back, are doubting the story given by McManus. They're also doubting that he was involved in any domestic altercations because they say that his girlfriend accused him, and before he was with the girlfriend, he was with their mother for 30 years and never had a charge.
For her to make those accusations and for the city to just jump on it and accuse him and charge him because she said so. And they come to the house in an unmarked van in regular clothing to serve him and to shoot him and kill him in the back. It's not just, it's unjust.
And McManus says that there were also uniformed officers here at the scene who did announce themselves. And McManus also stressed that this is very preliminary information and the details could change once he gets a chance to review the body cam footage. For now, reporting live on the West Side, Devin Clark, KSAT 12 News.
I can't wait for that body cam footage.
Worn down scooter, limit your mobility. All help.
I cannot wait for that body cam footage. Can't wait. I was gonna get a hoagie, but I thought, how am I gonna eat it and run the show? So I got something I can hold in one hand. So beat me up all y'all want. Let's keep. Why is he on duty?
Age 49 to 63 and not.
He should be home without pay. He shouldn't be allowed to be around nobody in no official capacity. Put him on desk duty or something. Tyler Perry still making Madea videos? All right, y'all, let's keep it going. How you doing, Echelon? JD? All right, let's go.
Police and the community is improving, but others think the department should be more transparent. Fort Worth police officer John Romer, accused of punching and choking a man, is now charged with
My bad, y'all.
official oppression and filing a false.
My bad. Here we go. Sorry about that. I don't know why Hangouts was putting the links together like that. I couldn't figure out which one was which. Paste.
A video that got a deputy sheriff in Georgia placed on leave. It shows a black man being pinned and beaten during an arrest, and it is provoking outrage online. ABC's Elwin Lopez is in Atlanta with much more. Elwin, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. At least one Clayton County deputy is on leave and under investigation following that arrest video, but the sheriff's office has yet to comment on what led up to this incident. This morning, outrage after this disturbing video posted online. Witnesses capturing the footage on Friday showing deputies in Georgia a man down. At least one of the deputies punching the man in the face, shouting that the man was biting him. That's Roderick Walker. His attorney says the father of four and his girlfriend had just dropped off their rental car and got a ride home. Shortly after, they see Clayton County deputies pulled that car over for an alleged broken taillight.
Despite Roderick not being a driver, was a passenger, they immediately approached him, asked him for his ID. He informed them that he did not have any ID, that he didn't need any since he was not driving a vehicle.
That's when Walker's attorney says his client was asked to step out of the car.
It escalates to him being beaten on the ground, being tased, and almost dying. And they take him to jail.
His young child heard in the video.
This is something new. Very.
We saw this yesterday.
Emotional, hysterical, just hurt because I wasn't there to take him.
Walker's attorney says the driver was not charged, but his client is now in jail, facing 2 counts of battery and 2 counts of obstruction of an officer.
The people that need to be in jail are the officers who attacked him and violated his civil rights.
And Walker's attorney says they now want an independent investigation outside of the sheriff's office.
Elwin Lopez in Atlanta for us. Thank you for that story. And don't forget to tune in to Turning Point, a month-long special event on...
Sorry, y'all. We saw that yesterday. I think this is the one I meant to play. Hold on. Update. Let's go.
Tonight, the manhunt intensifying for the gunman who ambushed 2 LA County Sheriff's deputies, shooting them as they sat in their SUV, critically injuring both. Sheriff's Department releasing surveillance video of the shooting we're about to show you in a moment, warning that it is disturbing. Sarah Seidner is out front.
This is the moment 2 Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies are ambushed. The shooter walks up to their parked squad car and fires multiple times. Both are hit at point-blank range outside a metro station, Compton.
That was a cowardly act. The two deputies were doing their job, minding their own business, watching out for the safety of the people on the train, and seeing somebody just walk up and just start shooting on them, it pisses me off.
A 31-year-old mother and her 24-year-old partner are rushed to the hospital. Both have only been on the force 14 months. The sheriff says both were shot in the head. The female deputy was able to apply a tourniquet to her partner, who was also bleeding from his arm. Miraculously, both survived. Outside the hospital, a small protest of just 5 people or so appears, screaming at police. One says he hopes for the death of the deputy. Protester holding the phone identifies himself as a member of LA's African Town Coalition, a group not nationally known. Before he set out, he took to Facebook.
I've been depressed, but this right here lightens my heart, right? Because, you know, the sheriff department has murdered too many of our brothers and sisters. Matter of fact, law enforcement throughout the country has murdered too many of our brothers and sisters. So if this is a start of retribution, then I think this is a very good start.
Sheriff Los Angeles reacting strongly to callous comments.
There's no place in civilized society for anybody to draw an arm and to shoot our law enforcement officers that put their lives on the line. And I won't ever let a couple voices that not only are uncalled for, but it's important to say something like that.
Both President Trump and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden weighing in on the shooting. Trump expressed his outrage to supporters in Nevada on Sunday.
And you saw a video of that animal that went up to the car. Did everybody see that? This animal goes up to the car. 2 unsuspecting fine people. They were fine people. I mean, they're in very grave condition.
Biden responded with this statement. Acts of lawlessness and violence directed against police officers are unacceptable, outrageous, and entirely counterproductive to the pursuit of greater peace and justice in America, as are the actions of those who cheer such attacks on. Those who perpetrate these crimes must be brought to justice, and if convicted, the full brunt of the law.
And we spoke to a member of the community here who's lived here his whole life, and he said, as a black business owner here, he says he absolutely is disgusted with hearing people say they hope that the deputies die. He says absolutely no one in this community truly believes that, and they are praying for the deputies. As for what is happening now with law enforcement, they are still in a major manhunt scenario, looking for the person responsible for shooting deputies. They have just now upped the reward from $100,000 to $175,000 to anyone with information that leads to an arrest. All
right, Sarah, thank you. A horrific and evil act. Out front now, the mayor of Compton, Asia Brown. And Mayor Brown, thank you so much for your time. I just wanted to start by asking you what the latest is that you're hearing on the search for the gunman behind this horrific attack.
Unfortunately, not much is known at this time. The suspect has been described as being dark-skinned by the Sheriff's Department, ages 28 through 30. Very general description. And from what I understand, there has not been anyone identified as of today.
And how are the 2 deputies tonight?
From what I understand, they're still recovering. They had surgery, and they're still struggling for their lives at this time.
The Sheriff's Department tweeted that after they arrived at the hospital Saturday night, protesters were quoted, and this is from what the Sheriff's Department said, blocking the entrance and exit of the hospital emergency room, yelling, quote, "We hope they die," referring to the deputy. This is jarring and chilling. What do you say to anyone who did that?
Just devastating. We are obviously living in perilous times, and we have to remember to have regard for humanity and life. And while I understand that protesters feel that they aren't being heard, they feel that justice is not being served equally, we still have to still uphold respect for humanity. And officers, be it as it was, they weren't involved in any of the shootings that are still under investigation throughout the county. And we just have to ensure that we come together as a community and not inflict unnecessary violence on people that have no bearing on what's happening.
So, a journalist was arrested during these protests, and in the video of the arrest, you hear her screaming repeatedly that she's with the local NPR radio station, which contradicts the Sheriff's Department statement that she not identify herself as a member of the press. And she claimed she was wearing her press ID around her neck. We're obviously not able to confirm that. What's your reaction to this?
Unfortunately, I am not surprised. We must hold the Sheriff's Department accountable for upholding basic rights and basic constitutional rights that we all have as individuals, that the press has to be able to cover what's going on within our community. It's disheartening, and it's really something that must be addressed. I'm hoping that leadership will address this travesty and that we can continue to ensure that the press is protected while they cover the instances that are occurring in our communities.
Mayor, you referred to the deep trust in your community with law enforcement, right? A long history of this. You actually have talked about your own experience being pulled over and searched by deputies just last year, right? Your mayor with your husband at the time and your infant daughter when this happened. And you know, tell me about that moment and what you learned from it as you're going through this now.
Unfortunately, it's not the first time that I've been racially profiled. It is one of the first instances that this has occurred while being mayor. But the biggest message that I have is that people deserve to have basic human dignity and rights. Just because we are driving within our vehicles, within our community, not give law enforcement the ability to violate our rights, and that we can't continue to accept this unfair treatment for people. If it doesn't happen in other communities, it shouldn't happen in ours or with people of color. And this is a systemic issue. This is nothing new. This is something that people are willing to listen to at this time because of all of the unrest and just chaos that's occurring because of not addressing the systemic issues of racism in our country. We do not condone violence against anyone as a means to atone of unfair practices or even the loss of life. And I know this is something that I'm sure the families that have lost their loved ones does not condone. And it's something that is not a reflection of the Compton community. I've been mayor for the last 7 years, and our crime is at all-time lows. We have not experienced this type of incident within our community, but at the same time, we are living in extraordinary circumstances. And my fear is that if we don't see justice for people of color, that more people will begin to take matters upon their own hands. And I think it's something that all people in leadership cannot turn a blind eye to. This is something that should be alarming, and my hope is that the leadership within law enforcement, with the County of Los Angeles, and our communities can come together and really put together a strategy on how we plan to address these systemic issues that are longstanding in our communities.
Mayor Brown, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
They put you on the spot, honey. Now, the guy that shot them don't know that they were rookies. They only been on the force 14 months. They were rookies. They ain't been there long enough to be involved in any other stuff, because y'all know it. Plenty of shootings on that police force being investigated. But this guy took it out on 2 rookies. And this is the problem. This is the problem. When you associate yourself with someone that's not doing right, sometimes you catch hell for it. That man did not intend to kill 2 rookies. Whoever that was not trying to kill 2 rookies that hadn't had a chance to even get into anything yet. He just saw 2 police officers sitting there, and something was probably done to him or somebody he know, and he took it out on them, and it's not fair. But you got to be careful of who you surround yourself with. If you know a department does a lot of heinous things to the community, even though you just fresh on the scene, you can still catch hell for what they did, even though you didn't do anything. And I don't agree that anybody sit in the car mind their own business. Somebody should have the ability to run up on them. I think it's despicable, no matter who it is. That's what I'm saying, that he has the Medea play on his channel. Said he was gonna take it off. When he doing it off? Wait a minute. That's what I'm saying. He just got out the ER. I hope you're all right. He said he's taking it down tomorrow. So y'all got to tomorrow to go watch the new Medea movie from Echelon. I'm gonna get them mixed up. I didn't realize how hungry I was, man. All right, Charles, our next story.
Big news on I-95 right now.
A driver rushed to the hospital after being shot in an apparent road rage incident. Local 10's Amy Viteri is live with the latest on this developing story. Amy. Well, as you know, this happened in the southbound lanes of I-95 at Hallandale Beach Boulevard. Just within the last 20 seconds, they cleared the scene. It happened in the express lanes. I want to show you video from Sky 10 of what the scene looked like. According to Florida Highway Patrol, this road rage incident happened just before 3 o'clock when one driver shot another in the express lanes. Now, the gray vehicle that you see is the driver of the car who was shot. They tell us the driver of a black car with temporary tags took off, continued heading southbound, and now they are asking for witnesses to come forward so they can identify that driver. We want to bring you back out here live. They tell us the driver of the gray car was stable. They say he was shot in the back. The crews took him to Memorial Regional Hospital, where they will be hoping to speak with him to learn more about how exactly this road rage incident unfolded. We're live on I-95. Amy Viteri, Local 10 News.
Well, let's check it out.
By getting serious scrutiny, especially when first punch shows it looks like it is the New York officer. Officials tell our New York affiliate IX the officer was trying to arrest the man. You'll see the video. Trying to arrest the guy in the red shirt because he was carrying a knife, but the man, accused George, would not follow the officer's commands. As you'll see the video, let me just portion of this encounter, which is now under review here within the New York Police Department.
Yes, exactly. Oh, man, it's some bull, man. Yo, this some bull, man. This some bull. Some bull.
Africans always talking. Right now.
All right, so that is the majority of the video here. With me now, David Katz, CEO of Global Security Group, formerly and a federally certified firearms and tactical instructor. So let's discuss what we just saw. I do know that Bill Bratton, my PD police commissioner, said that he did not see anything appropriate from the officer. So clearly, the officer pulled the first punch. Agree with Bratton.
Completely.
Why?
I have a right. Police officer tells you you are under arrest. You have one option. Why?
What about the law as far as when you're approached by police and they're not explaining to you why they want you arrested, why they're approaching you in the first place? I want to play some sound. This is from this man's friend. You hear him say, "I got the whole thing on camera. I got the whole thing on camera." He's the one rolling on the whole thing. This is what he said.
When you watch video in the first place, you ask a man for his ID. First of all, when you stop as a cop, when you stop a man, you have to tell us why you stop us. You did not tell us why you stop us, but you asked for ID.
So, as an officer, are you required by law to explain to someone why you want to arrest them, why you're approaching them? Apparently it's because...
That's an excellent question. Constitution or not? Some states like New York require you or require you to, but only circumstances permit it. So, for example, if I can, you're under arrest for whatever charge, plain charge, your authority. By the way, it's the same for a civilian arrest. But in this case, trying to, a person resists. You don't have to say, throw your punch, and by the way, it's Robert, whatever it is. I think it's possession of a weapon in this case.
All right, keep it going. Kind of cute.
A dispute over littering is the latest flashpoint in race relations between police and the public. Cell phone video of a white Fort Worth police officer arresting a black mother and her two daughters has been viewed more than 1 million times in a matter of hours. The officer, who appeared to point his taser at two of the women, is now under investigation by Internal Affairs. Now, the woman in the white shirt, Jacqueline Craig, says she is the one who called police to complain that a neighbor choked her 7-year-old son for littering. Things went downhill quickly when the officer arrived. Craig and her daughters just returned home from jail and talked to reporters about what happened.
I really just want to get back to my family as normal right now. I don't know.
Craig's comments were brief following what has been a whirlwind of a day. Fox 4's Sean Rabb begins our coverage in the neighborhood where it happened. Sean.
I know this is old.
It has been.
Hey, Big Daddy Rock.
With that video now being viewed online more than 1 million times, we are standing in front of the home where the man accused of choking Jacqueline Craig's 7-year-old son lived. Just a few moments ago, police were called out here, 911. Learned they were called because of us, and they're present along the sidewalk here and outside this home. The incident really happened along the side of the house yesterday afternoon. Now, everyone who sees the video, public here in Fort Worth, the police experts and those who consult police departments are wondering how the mother called 911 because of her son and what he said happened to him. How the mother and her daughters.
In black.
Protest in downtown Fort Worth sparked by this. The arrest of Jacqueline Craig and her two daughters caught by iPhone gone viral on Facebook. Craig called 911 complaining a neighbor who the officer is talking to choked her 7-year-old son because he threw trash in his yard and refused to pick it up. We pick up her conversation with the officer who answered her call for help.
My son is 7 years old. You don't have the right to grab him, choke him behind no paper that he threw. What you should have done, because we have been living here for years, so you know that my house is a door in between doors. You could have came to me. Don't put your hands on my son.
Why did your son not litter?
I didn't. He had told to me that my son littered, but it doesn't matter if he did or didn't. It doesn't give him the right to put his hands on it.
Craig's voice raises as the officer begins his questions about her son, including why she doesn't teach him not to litter.
Because you just pissed me off telling me why I teach my kids what I don't.
Craig's 15-year-old daughter tries to push her mother back. She's pushed away. Other kids run up and are pushed. Craig, taken to the ground, taser on her back, then pointed at the daughter. People are cursing the officers. Craig, the 15-year-old, and the 19-year-old behind the cell phone camera are all arrested. Craig's charged with resisting arrest or transport and failure to identify as a fugitive. She had outstanding traffic warrants. Her 19-year-old daughter, Breer Hyman, charged with resisting and interfering with public duties.
When I look at that video, you really don't know why she was arrested.
Dr. Robert Taylor teaches criminology and policing at University of Texas at Dallas. He's used as a police expert and consults Ferguson, Milwaukee, and Charlotte, who've experienced civil unrest following police-public confrontations.
I don't quite understand that kind of behavior on the part of the officer. When officers are taught and trained over and over again that when we go to neighborhood disturbances, there's going to be people yelling at you. You've just got to be professional through the whole thing.
The unidentified officer is not on administrative leave, but has been placed on restricted duty until the investigation is done. Internal Affairs detectives were in the home of the man who allegedly choked Craig's son for about an hour and in the neighborhood looking for witnesses. No one answered our knock at the door. Craig's attorney, Lee Merritt, tweeted this picture of her and a daughter in the Mansfield jail while waiting release.
The officer was not at all interested in the assault of the 7-year-old child, but was more concerned with the accusations of the person, the assailant, that he had littered in his yard.
As Craig and her daughter were leaving jail, Fort Worth police emailed a statement acknowledging the video raises questions. We ask that our investigators are given time and opportunity to thoroughly examine this incident and to submit their findings. This process may take time, but the integrity of the investigation rests upon the ability of the investigators to document facts and to accurately evaluate the size and scope of what transpired. We ask our community for patience and calm during this investigative process. Craig and her daughter returned home from jail.
As well as police officers, human beings, period, you have some good and some bad.
Now, the 15-year-old who was taken to juvenile has also been released. Everyone's been released, but now, at least for now, all still face charges. Natalie?
All right, so Sean, you included part of the Fort Worth Police Department statement in your report. Has there been any word from Police Chief Joel Fitzgerald?
No, Natalie, it's been silent from Chief Fitzgerald. This would be his first test in the community as chief of the Fort Worth Police Department. And I think a lot of people today wanted to hear from him. They wanted to see him and hear him say something about, let us investigate. Let us determine what happened. Let us interview the officer who has 2 days now before he gives his statement. I've also learned he's a longtime veteran who had apparently nothing in his record of excessive force or conflict with citizens in the past. But I think folks wanted to hear from Joel Fitzgerald and see leadership from him leading his department through this right now crisis in this community.
Sure.
That was an old video. But those of y'all who remember, TS did a video on this. And he blamed the mother for the daughters getting arrested. I don't know if y'all remember that video, but I happened to see that one. Tommy blamed the mother. If she knew how to talk to the cops, knowing that she had a daughter with her, she should have kept her mouth shut. Then he started talking about how fat and nasty she was. Then he talking about how she keep trying to get men she can't keep, and that's why she got so many damn kids. Y'all remember that video? Okay.
If you buy pet supplies on Amazon,
Pregnant woman who's accused in a road rage shooting is set to go back before a judge tomorrow. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Sirota.
And I'm Lisa Hernandez. Brittany Daniels was in court over the weekend. She is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and tampering with evidence. Channel 2's Taisha Walker is live with why Daniels did not appear today. Taisha.
Lisa, Brittany was supposed to go before a judge today, but her court appearance has been reset until tomorrow. Let's get to video to show you of Brittany Daniel in court over the weekend. She was there on Saturday, where she learned that she would be facing charges of aggravated assault, causing serious bodily injury, injury to a child under 15, and tampering or fabricating physical evidence. Harris County deputies spoke to the other driver who says Brittany cut her off Friday on Rankin Road near the North Freeway. Deputies say Brittany first pointed a gun at the other woman, causing her to fear for her life. While they both were at a stoplight, prosecutors say Brittany allegedly admitted that she got out of her car and fired her gun at the other woman's car at least 3 times.
She stated that she did admit to exiting her car from the passenger seat and shooting at the rear of the complainant's vehicle several times. She did confirm that the gun she used was thrown into the water-filled ditch.
And the woman was hit by one of those bullets in her back, causing her to crash into a ditch. Inside of that woman's car was a child. In court today, we also learned that Brittany is pregnant with her first child and is currently unemployed. We're told that she does have at least one violent offense from 2018 on her record. Back here live, Brittany is in jail right now, but expected to go back before a judge tomorrow. Reporting live from downtown, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Taisha, thank you.
So the woman is pregnant. Anybody think that she should be bailed out? I'm just asking the question. But there's our buddy. Let's see what he got tonight.
All right, guys. Good day. Let's start with this gun memorial. I was going to go through the gun memorial, but then I got stuck on this kid's picture right here, A. Sean Davis. So I think let's just look and see what happened to A. Sean Davis. So Breitbart has a story about it, and the Union Times has a story about it. Why Ebony and Jet and fucking Essence and Black Enterprise and shit? Why they ain't got no story about this shit? Why Breitbart got it? Because they try to make black people look bad. "11-year-old boy who went viral seeking work, fatally shot in drive-by shooting." Look at that face, man. 11 years old. A boy recognized for his eagerness to work was fatally shot overnight during a drive-by shooting in Troy, New York. Police say officers responded to the area of Old 6th Avenue just before midnight on Sunday. There, according to police, the 11-year-old boy was found with a gunshot wound to the head.
The child whom police identified as Ashawn Davis was taken to Albany Medical Center, where he died from his injuries. The victim was standing in the area of the shooting with a group. A car sped by and its occupants fired a weapon from the vehicle. The vehicle continued north on Old 6th Avenue and fled the area, Detroit Police Department wrote. On Twitter, Deputy Chief of Police Daniel DeWolf said the community was heartbroken over the news. To say that this death is tragic is an understatement. He commented, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the victim family and friends." In September of 2019, Ashawn Davis was featured in a Spectrum news story after he walked into Jimmy's Pizzeria and Restaurant looking for work. As a 10-year-old, he's got that motivation. You don't want him to lose it, said owner Tony Buchanan, who allowed the young man to earn some money by helping out around the restaurant. You can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it, Davis said at the time. In a Facebook post Monday, the restaurant owner shared a photo of Davis smiling while cleaning a window last year and expressed his deep sadness about the tragic loss. And I gotta deal with some fucking pasty white cracker that would rather fucking have one of his fingers cut off than fucking come into the hood, argue with me on Twitter about, "You're being hyperbolic, man. I don't like the way you're talking about my brothers and sisters in the black community. This type of stuff doesn't happen every day. The biggest problem is cops. And then when it does happen, the person goes to jail for 100 years. This kid had already gone viral. He was a viral sensation for, he made the news in the stories.
You can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it.
10-year-old Ashawn Davis is eager to work, so determined he refused to take no as an answer when he walked into Jimmy's Pizzeria in Troy this week. Owner Tony Buchanan told Ashawn he was too young, plus Buchanan was already paying someone else to clean the room. Ashawn countered with this.
So I told him that 2 is better than 1.
So I said, you know what, buddy, you got me there. You can help her out a little bit.
And just like that, Ashawn was put to work, sweeping the floor, cleaning windows, and even help take orders when it's busy. Buchanan pays him a few bucks in addition to the tips Ashawn earns from customers.
As a 10-year-old, he's got that motivation. You don't want him to lose it.
Ashawn is motivated because he's thinking about the future, saving money for a car, a phone, and a home. He says he wants to use half of his future house for the homeless.
It's not fair that people like them have to sleep on the streets and we have to live at home.
Of course, at 10 years old, Ashawn still has to attend school. He's made a deal with Buchanan that as long as he keeps his education a top priority, there'll always be a few things for him to do around the pizzeria.
He's this motivated at 10 years old? Who knows what he'll be able to do at 14, 15, 16 years old.
In Troy, Jackson Wang, Spectrum News.
I hate you niggas. I really hate you niggas, man. I hate you white liberals.
Hey, welcome back, John Lee.
Y'all. I hate you white liberals and you niggas, man. But I'm not talking about all black people.
I'm sorry, y'all. This is too sad. I can't watch no more. That young man is dead. That young man is gone. For what? For nothing. He could have been the next president. We don't know.
What do we know about the suspect?
I'll tell you what, if this shooting suspect wanted to get as far away as possible from that scene, or perhaps
go under the radar. He was not successful. We're only about 14 blocks away from the courthouse where the shooting took place to the spot where the suspect was taken custody. Now, I want to show you new video we just got from a viewer. The FBI and Phoenix police here on scene had a bomb-sniffing dog search the suspect's car, which is about a half a block away from us right now. The car remains there parked. The bomb squad not taking any risks here. What's not clear is how investigators were able to track the suspect to this and why he came here. Side of a fire station, an apartment building under construction, and some single-family homes. And what's also not clear is whether the suspect went to custody quietly, whether he resisted it. I can tell you, talking to some of the neighbors here just a minute ago, there really is a feeling of relief that if this suspect, who was accused of doing what he did, taken into custody without any incident, without any shots fired, well, they're just relieved that this seemed to end peacefully. With, for now, the FBI and saying they have their man. Still are waiting for more information, though, from both the FBI and Phoenix. Get that, we'll bring it to you on air and online at 12news.com. Back to you.
Oh, thank you.
All righty. Suspect arrested in federal courthouse in downtown Phoenix. That's what that was. They didn't tell you that in the story. Oh, just keep looking at me. Let's go ahead and take a chance. We haven't talked about Trump the hump yet. We haven't talked about Trump the hump.
President Trump, all whistleblowers, it is really, really important, okay? So for months, while the United States has been consumed by a pandemic, racial division, the president has been living in a bubble that he presides over. He holds press conferences, surrounded by sycophants, living hour after hour in a state media echo chamber, okay? A convention full of lies, holding unsafe rallies with unmasked supporters. This is fascinating, and you have to watch this. Call your friends, tell them to tune in, because we're going to play it all for you. But a lot of it for you, the important parts. But tonight he came face to face with American voters who put it right to his face about what it's like to live in Donald Trump's America right now.
Should pre-existing conditions, which Obamacare brought to fruition, be removed?
No.
Please stop and let me finish my question, sir. Should that be removed within a 36 to 72 hour period without my medication? I will be dead. And I want to know what it is that you're going to do to assure that people like me who work hard, everything we're supposed to do, can stay insured. It's not my fault that I was born with this disease. It's not my fault that I'm a black woman and in the medical community I'm minimized and not taken seriously. I want to know what you are going to do about that.
So, first of all, I hope you are taken seriously. I hope you are.
And when asked by another voter why he wouldn't wear a mask on the night of the pandemic, the death toll in this country is now, it passes 195,000 people. The President of the United States says this about one of the only things that we can do to combat this deadly virus, wearing a mask. Here it is.
Now, there is, by the way, a lot of people don't want to wear masks. There are a lot of people think the masks are not good. And there are a lot of people that, as an example,
Who are those people?
Well, I'll tell you who those people are. Waiters, they come over and they serve you, and they have a mask. And I saw it the other day where they were serving
Tony said it. Hey, Tony.
With a mask. I'm not blaming that. I'm just saying what happens. They're playing with a mask, so the mask is over, and they're touching it, and then they're touching the plate. That can't be good.
That's what happens when you're actually in a bubble. And then you get out of the bubble, you know, people really feel and what they really have to say. And that you have one of the people you serve saying, please let me finish my question, because he doesn't do that. Remember, he works for the people in that audience. They don't work for him. And they let him know it tonight. So, do you believe that? The president thinks waiters don't want to wear masks.
And for a man who doesn't wear a mask at all to blame waiters for possibly touching their masks, well, I don't even know what to say. So I just want you to listen to the president, still, after all this time, after all these deaths, claiming the virus will go away, spinning a ridiculous claim that what he calls herd mentality, whatever that is, that's not a thing. That's going to happen. Here it is.
It would go away without the vaccine, George. But it's going to go away a lot faster with it.
Go away without the vaccine?
Sure, over a period of time. Sure, with time it goes
many
away.
deaths.
And you'll develop herd, like a herd mentality. It's going to be herd developed, and that's going to happen. That will all happen.
Okay, and now there's more. There's the president contradicting his own statement to Bob Woodward when he said he deliberately downplayed the coronavirus because he didn't want to create a...
Well, I didn't downplay it. I actually, in many ways, I upplayed it in terms of action. My action was very strong. Yeah, because what I did was, with China, I put a ban on. With Europe, I put a ban on. And we would have lost thousands of more people had I not put the ban on. So that was called action, not with the mouth, but in actual fact. We did a very, very good job when we put that ban on. Whether you call it talent or luck, it was very important. So we saved a lot of lives when we did that.
Is he on crack? Is Donald Trump on crack? Is he on the methamphetamine? Is he on the goofy balls? He said he saved thousands of lives. Well, I think today we're going to hit 200,000. If not today, tomorrow, sir. So you think you saved a couple thousand lives, but yet you let people come in through New York and California, and now it's 200,000 dead. Over going on 7 million infected. What did you do well, sir? Seriously, let me pull the chat up. Anybody want to talk about this? This man is on methamphetamine. He on Dramamine. He on some kind of mean. Because I don't think he mean what he say. Tony said he right about that. You got to be kidding me, Tony. He's right. He said that he saved thousands of lives by closing off China, but let the virus come in through New York and California. But he saved thousands of lives. Well, can John Kerry run for president? He got to do better than this. This man said that I saved thousands of lives, a couple thousands of lives, but you still let people come in from Europe, you let people come from other places and bring us a daggone disease. We got more disease than anybody else in the world. You said about the mask thing, what, about touching your mouth? To get the virus, you need to inhale it or touch something and put your fingers in your mouth, nose, or eyes. Somebody touching their mask. They're not going to touch their mouth or their nose. The danger of eating out in public is somebody could walk by and spray something on your food or drink. That's the danger of eating open food in public because then you might ingest it. But you have to put your fingers into your mouth or nose. If you got a mask on, you won't be able to do that. But it also, if you have it, it protects you from spraying on somebody else. There's a difference. All right, somebody send us a linky dink. Let's check it in. All right, this is from Chung Lee, I believe. What was that? I wait for the ad to end. Damn, they got 2 commercials.
More Daily Dose of Internet. This guy set his own parachute on fire and then deployed another parachute a few seconds later. This person designed a super realistic Iron Man mask.
Open the mask. Close the mask. Start system.
This bridge in China had to be shut down after it started waving up and down due to windy conditions.
Oh, I ain't getting on that bridge. Oh, heck no.
Here's a cat that likes to eat leafy greens.
She doesn't want the hot dog. She doesn't want the cheese. She wants the spinach.
This is what baby jellyfish look like under a microscope.
Aslan said what Tommy Cat doing that video.
Here's a transparent cube with different colors on each side that allows you to mix the colors when you place the cube at a certain angle.
So nothing spectacular, but if you start looking at this cube from different angles, the light that goes through the cube start to mix based on the foil color, and you get colors like green and orange.
The wheels set on these. Oh, cool. That was cool.
That's the end of this video. Hopefully I was able to make your day just a little better. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon.
But please don't flag us, sir. Please don't flag us, sir. That was from Chung Lee. Please don't flag us, sir. I get the feeling I'm going to be editing that out later on. I get the feeling. I got that feeling. I got that feeling. All right, y'all. This is the Hurricane Sally. Hurricane Sally from the alley. Oh, it's a live stream. Oh, man, we got to get out of here. What? That's a live stream. There go. We already covered that. Any other news? We already covered that.
Outside McClellan Park, President Trump supporters welcomed a California visit, lining the entrance of Watt Avenue down Peacekeepers Lane, awaiting Air Force One touchdown. But there were also demonstrations against the president's visit. And at times, both would mingle, side by side at moments, exchanging in dialogue that at times was passionate, but not violent or physical by any means. But when demonstrators began marching around McClellan Park, there were moments where exchanges became dangerous. Off Dudley Way, outside the VA hospital, a crowd of demonstrators were on the shoulder of the street, and a Volvo station wagon swiped the crowd while driving away. The window of that Volvo was broken, and there was glass on the asphalt. We saw one person being loaded up into an ambulance for their injuries. Shortly after, as the march continued onto Palm Street outside the VA outpatient clinic, a driver was trying to get through demonstrators, pushing through with their red truck and continuing despite being surrounded by people. We didn't see an ambulance at this scene and aren't sure if someone was seriously injured. The march then continued onto Watt Avenue, northbound lanes blocked by demonstrators. At one point, a unit moves to leave the area and a demonstrator gets on the hood. The CHP driver continues and the man goes over the unit, hitting the ground. Demonstrators carry that man onto the grassy shoulder at Ruth Inman Park, where he was later taken away by an ambulance. It's important to know that the marching we were following was one of multiple demonstrations and rallies, a strong showing both for and against the president. At McClellan Park, Vicki Gonzalez, KCRA 3 News.
Sheriff's Department says 2 are now arrested for the dragging death of another teenager in Yuba City last week. Responding deputies were told 19-year-old Camacho Arellano tried to stop the duo from stealing his father's vehicle. They ended up dragging him, leaving him for injury, rushed to the hospital, but later pronounced dead. Edgar James Knight and 19-year-old Ray McKnight are now in jail on suspicion of murder with a $1 million bail. Johnston has 13.
They look crazy. I'm sorry. They look like they look crazy. Oh, shucks. Oh. All right, it's 2 hours ago.
To the Bobcat fire, which continues to grow right now in the San Gabriel Mountains.
Yeah, we're being told the crews who work on Mount Wilson are being evacuated from the area. Much of that firefight today centers on Mount Wilson. There is a major effort underway to keep flames away from that observatory on the community towers there. Fire has burned more than 41,000 acres and is just 3%. It's also raining ash into nearby communities. Guest News from Ella Argawi has more on the bad air quality.
It's awful. You can barely see downtown LA through the hazy smoke that's filled much of the Southern California sky for more than a week now.
We're definitely still seeing a lot of smoke in the air. I know it's been several days where we've seen very unhealthy, up to very unhealthy levels of smoke.
South Coast Air Quality Management District has issued a smoke advisory through at least this afternoon, prompting places like the offices at Pasadena City College to close. This as the El Dorado fire continues to burn in the San Bernardino National Forest, and the Bobcat fire 9 days later has burned through more than 40,000 acres and has very low containment.
Right now we're seeing a lot of fires that are creating a lot of air pollution. We're also getting some weather conditions that are really trapping the smoke at ground level.
Experts say little wind and no rain is keeping the smoke in the air.
Well, it's lucky. It's fingers. It's in the house. And it's just not, healthy. My husband, feeling it throat. At times he gets nauseated.
My wife has allergies, and she's tried to. We put big machines that are circulating.
You got a K95 on. I got that same mask.
Across the West Coast have even sent smoke traveling all the way to the East Coast, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
We're definitely seeing that the wildfires across the West Coast are creating very large smoke plumes that can stretch, thousands of miles.
Some doctors say in recent days they're seeing more people coming in with respiratory issues, both those with previous history and some coming in for the first time.
People are wearing masks because of the COVID issue, and I think that's actually helping them somewhat, especially when they're outside.
Air quality experts say the current smoke advisory is likely to be extended, so they say it's best to stay inside as much as possible, especially if you have respiratory problems. In Pasadena, Hermela Argali, yes, 2.
If I see another black woman with a daggone weave on her damn head, it don't look right. You can honestly look in the mirror and say that I don't understand. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. All right, this 28 minutes ago. Let's keep it going. 28.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have.
Oh, man. They got me.
John Sims with McGeorge School of Law is helping us unpack a series of chaotic moments involving demonstrators and vehicles. The first involves a Volvo striking a group of demonstrators. You can see the rear window was broken with glass on the asphalt. And one person was transported to the hospital.
That incident with the Volvo is hard to understand without knowing what happened before the video starts.
The driver of the Volvo did speak to us off camera. He said that he and his wife were out shopping and they ended up driving down the street where there were demonstrators. He says his vehicle was attacked first, the rear window was broken, and in an attempt to pull over, he lost control of the vehicle. You then see the Volvo driving off as demonstrators run after the station wagon.
Maybe you're scared, maybe you're acting possibly inappropriately, but in a way that's understandable. If you're not trained to be in that situation, didn't expect to be in that situation, haven't thought about it ahead of time, don't really know what to do.
Shortly after, a red truck encounters marchers walking down the street and continues to drive as if the crowd is not there.
What you're really doing is you're saying to the crowd, I'm coming through and you have to get out of my way or I will harm you. And that's a threatening maneuver.
The last involves a demonstrator hopping onto the hood of a CHP unit, motioning to leave. The CHP driver accelerates and the man goes over, hitting the asphalt. Leslie Gilo Jacobs is also a professor with McGeorge School of Law.
Well, it's very difficult to act in the moment, and yes, these circumstances escalate.
CHP explained, fearing for his safety, the officer began to accelerate away, and the protester fell off the vehicle.
We're now not dealing with a member of the public. We're talking about a trained law enforcement professional. And I would think that officers should be trained about how to deal with this. It's certainly not a justification for potentially killing the person who has irresponsibly and foolishly climbed on top of the police car.
CHP said the man was transported to the hospital with minor injuries.
Certainly there can be arguments made on both sides. And when, again, reasonableness is a standard, and so you got to figure out what was reasonable under those particular circumstances.
As the investigation continues into all three dangerous interactions. Nikki Gonzalez, KCRA 3 News.
The first two cars were private citizens. They paid for those vehicles. They paid for their own vehicles. But those protesters paid for them police cars. If they want to tear the police car up, take that money and fix it. Don't kill the people. Don't kill your boss. Don't kill your boss. I think that the police need to understand that. We already know why that Donald Trump don't understand it. We already know Donald Trump don't understand that. Donald Trump think you work for him.
Right now, the Cupertino County Sheriff's Office is looking to question a person of interest who may be involved in wildfires that started just north of Flagstaff within the past 2 days. The most recent fire was this morning, forcing several people to evacuate their homes. Calls Mark Liverman is live in Park. Mark.
It's snowing around.
Well, we do know that this fire has been contained, but hotshots are still working to get some of the hot spots out, and you could see a few distance there, and all of the damage around them, all of the smoke damage, and then just past that, you see structures almost burnt around, and more hotshots in the distance working to get some of the hot spots out. Here's what we know so far. Flames shooting up into the early morning sky. The wildfire erupted on this property just north of Flagstaff, Stony Park neighborhood. Carl Lemke says he woke up to the fire on his property.
I woke up this morning and I didn't even see flames yet. I knew it was blowing through the glass, and I looked out the window. Gone.
The fire is now fully contained and covered roughly 4 acres. Second, vicious fires that happened close together in about 24 hours. Lemke says the first one happened Monday. Said fire went up nearby.
Yeah, snow on the ground.
Nearby trees.
I'm going to wake up more often tonight than the last night.
Sheriff's Office is now looking to question 38-year-old Rachel Ray Bridges' connection with both fires. Lemke says he recognizes Bridges nearby. Here now, morning's fire won't be the last.
That's frightening because, I mean, as easy as this is to do, but as dry as the conditions are, wouldn't take much to get her going.
Back out here, you see just how much damage there is and how far it goes back onto the property. A lot of the objects out here, I don't know what they are anymore, just that smoke damage. I also want to show you just how close flames could have got to the rest of Lemke's property early in the morning. At this point, this fire and Monday's fire are still under Stony Park. Mark Liverman, 12 News.
Mark, thanks. And we're just in the newsroom, an update. Coconino County Sheriff's Office tell us that they have located and interviewed Rachel Bridges Flagstaff, but they have not released any after the interview.
If she did do that, she need to go to jail. Don't give her no pat on the wrist. She need to go to jail. That is crazy. Hey, Echelon, how can you have a fire with snow on the ground? Didn't there have to be an accelerant? If the ground is wet, how can it catch fire? Hey, who am I? If the ground is wet, how can it catch fire? Didn't somebody have to use an accelerant? If you got snow on the ground, how the heck can you have fire? Echelon says yes. Yeah, somebody set them. That's arson. We sitting there watching a fire burn in the snow. That's a lot of damage too. That's all I kept thinking about. How could the fire survive all that water? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's time for
Los
YT.
Angeles Sheriff's deputies wrongfully arrested a journalist from KPCC. She identified herself clearly as she was covering a very small protest in front of a hospital where there were the two deputies who had been shot in an ambush. They were recovering in that hospital. Josie Hong, the reporter, was covering the protest, small protest that was taking place out front, and chaos ensued. The sheriff's deputies apparently didn't like the protest. Tempers were flaring. And before you know it, Josie Hong, a reporter for public radio station KPCC, was taken into custody during Saturday's demonstration outside the hospital. The department said that Hong didn't identify herself as a journalist and interfered with the arrest of a protester. But guess what? The sheriff's deputies were lying because there were multiple videos, some of which were actually filmed by Hong herself, that showed that she identified herself as a reporter from KPCC several times. So you also see how insanely vicious and violent they are with her. There's several deputies on top of her as they're restraining her for no reason. But with that said, keep in mind what the deputies alleged. And here's a video that was taken by someone on the scene. It gives you kind of like a view from a little far away, but we have additional videos to share. So let's take a look at that.
And we saw this.
So that was the wrongful arrest of a journalist. That was excessive force, there's no question. And the sheriff's deputies absolutely lied about their reasoning in arresting her. And guess what? The LA County Sheriff has decided to defend the deputies' actions, even after all this evidence came out. Villanueva said Hong was too close to the deputies during the man's arrest, because they were arresting another man. Doesn't seem anywhere near someone else getting arrested. You have all those deputies focusing on her and pinning her to the ground. He claimed that's where she crossed the line from journalism to activism. He said he didn't know if the deputies heard her shouting, "I'm a reporter." But as you guys can see from that video, she's screaming from the top of her lungs to the point where a person filming from far away can pick up that audio. And he also says you have to have a certain level of responsibility as a journalist. Do your job, but do it at a safe distance where you're not interfering with the deputies doing their job. He says more, Jank, but I wanted you to jump in.
So, all right, hold on a second. I want to jump in. Hold on a second. Now, see, I thought this was going to be one of them BS stories, but let's go. All right, y'all. All right. All right, y'all. Now, I understand that 2 young police officers got killed. If people are out there protesting, that's their right. Stop shooting and killing innocent people. Stop tasing and beating up people for no reason. For nobody be protesting. I don't understand how people that we pay them. But they gonna tell us what we can do. We pay them, they don't pay us. They treat us like we work for them. You work for us. If somebody protesting and they ain't looting, they ain't destroying nothing, why are you messing with them? They got a right to protest. You and your feelings because 2 of your deputies got shot? Well, now you see what it feels like when you do what you do. We don't get mad, so why do you get mad? We ain't out there beating police up. This is for little Johnny. And this is for George Floyd. We not out there doing that. But two of yours get shot. And you want to go out there and put the billy club on people. They're just protesting. Because you in your feelings. We can't be in our feelings, but you can't deal with being in your feelings. You want to take it out on innocent people, they didn't shoot the daggone cops. Why are you, instead of looking for the man who did, you worrying about some protesters and people in the media? Is that how you want to help your two comrades in the hospital? Yeah, I was out there beating up the protesters, yeah, for you. While you ain't here fighting for your life, I'm out there beating up more people so I can put them in the hospital next to you. But those are the people that pay you. Yeah, the billy club, the nightstick, the magic wand. Joan Lee says she's singing "We Are Family." I'm just saying, I just don't understand the attitude. I don't understand the attitude. You work for us. We don't work for you. They act like, you know, they paying our salaries. But come pay my rent and tell me what to do. Come pay my electric and tell me what to do. If you ain't gonna do that, you can't tell me nothing. All right, 6 hours ago.
Chicago police just after 11 this morning, officers saw someone shoot the intersection of Lincoln and Harrison. And they went after the driver of a gray Toyota SUV.
I looked in my rearview mirror and I just heard the police sirens going off and I saw the car coming.
Sophia Shayer was out running an errand and picking up dog food for the intersection of Roosevelt and Union, less than 2 miles from that shooting scene. She found herself in the middle of the action.
Very terrifying. It felt like it was like I was in a movie. It didn't feel real at all.
She says the driver of the speeding SUV hit the car behind her, spun around, and then hit her car too, totaling it.
They got out of the car. We didn't know if they were armed or not. And the way how they were putting their hands up got us worried. So they told me to get down, and I did. And after a while, we saw cops come in and they're okay.
Police say they were not shot at and they did not fire any shots. They tell us they did recover a weapon and 4 people are in custody. Live in the loop, Jenna Barnes, WGN News.
That's 5 months ago. Oh, Lord, this is this woman again. Did we see this already?
The left unequivocally condemns any type of...
Nah. I don't hear nothing about no damn camp. Screw that woman. I ain't giving her no press. Oh. Excuse me. All right, it's 6 hours
Caught
ago.
up on more of the headlines for today. Atlanta police making an arrest in a shooting that killed 2 people and injured 13 others on Auburn Avenue over the 4th of July weekend. Police say DeAndre Brown was arrested during a traffic stop Sunday night and he's now facing counts of murder. They're also looking for 3 additional people in connection to the shooting.
So each individual that you see in these photographs, we know that they did each discharge a firearm. And that's why it is critically important that we get these individuals identified and have the opportunity to speak.
One of those victims in the shooting, Joshua Ingram, would have turned 21 late last month, and we will hear from his mother tonight on Up Late at 11.
Why they keep showing me that same clip? I don't want to play it. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's funny. Cover that. Yeah. Oh. All right, what the hell? This for the
now
lady.
I gotta serve you with facts. This video is brought to you by The Oxitative Store. The Oxitative Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live or make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment on this video, share this video.
Hit the like button, y'all. Share the video.
Y'all see the little scenery. I'm on vacation right now, but y'all done made me have to make this video. People
Get a
are all
membership.
over social media, and I'm not talking about the intellectual people. I'm talking about people who have not figured out yet that they don't understand anything about policing. And if you never served a search warrant, if you've never been on a SWAT team or a tactical team executing a search warrant, you probably don't know what you're talking about. And I am disappointed to the utmost at some individuals who are considering themselves to be conservative, and all of a sudden they're listening to Mr. Attorney Crump, the most fraudulent civil rights attorney on planet Earth. But let me get into the facts about Breonna Taylor. This video should be really short. I'm going to break it down. Some of the things that I found out based on my research, based on facts. First and foremost, a rumor is going around that they hit the wrong house. And I said this on my other video, that is a lie. Rumor is going around, and Mr. Crump said in a press release that they communicated with local postal service employee, a local postal service employee, who said they were never contacted by the police. They claim that that's somehow contradicting the search warrant. Now, lying. He has a motive to lie, and if you have any common sense, you know he lied. And race hustling. The fact is, they went through the U.S. Postal Service. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are doing or selling drugs across state lines, they're going to go through the U.S. Postal Service because it goes beyond the jurisdiction of Louisville. Another interesting fact here is that Breonna Taylor, her vehicle that's registered to her in her name, is seen multiple times going to a trap house. Now, the other gentleman that was arrested, the main character in all of this, was seen walking out of her house with a package before he went to the trap house. So you tell me how this is somehow the wrong house when they have been running surveillance on her apartment or whatever, it's a townhome or whatever it is. They're running surveillance on her house. They're running surveillance on the trap house. They did a search warrant that was approved, 2 different search warrants. The search warrant on the trap house and the search warrant on her house. Her name was on the warrant, her vehicle was on the warrant, and her home was on the warrant. She was a suspect in the case. And like I said before, it is unclear if she was a shooter. I find it to be very interesting if she wasn't the shooter, her boyfriend was the shooter, she get hit 8 times and he don't get a flesh wound. I think people need to have common sense to figure that out and figure out what's going on. On the search warrant, the subsequent search warrant that they got for her home, she was listed as the shooter on the search warrant. Do the math. Now let's go to the trap house, where the main gentleman is at the trap house, where they served a consecutive or at least a simultaneous warrant. It's pretty much simultaneous. They did that one first and they went right at her house. At this trap house, multiple drugs found, phones, all kinds of stuff is found at this trap house, and the gentleman who's the main suspect in this was arrested. And believe it or not, and all the people that are saying the justice system against the brown man, but a couple weeks later, they serve another search warrant at the trap house because they're selling dope again. So I just want people to understand the facts, understand the totality of circumstances. I'm not saying anybody deserves to die. That's not even in the statute. That's not even a law. There's no law that says whether you deserve to die or not. But when you are at home, the police come to your door. Her boyfriend's attorney said that they heard knocking on the door and they answered and said, "Who is it?" Now they're claiming the police never responded and they ran the door. The police had a no-knock warrant, so they didn't have to say anything. But the police are saying that they knocked and announced. Breonna's boyfriend said that they knocked and they responded to the people who were knocking, but all of a sudden the police never announced themselves. People need to think about this. Do we have all the information and facts? We don't have it all. But from what we have, you can have deductive reasoning to figure out that there's some lying going on here, and there's some things missing, and then there's some truths that are being presented by me, and there's lies that have been presented by others. Do your research. Look up the cases. Not just in Breonna Taylor's case, in any case. Don't just believe me. Go online. Don't just look at one website. Verify. Go to every website. Look at websites that are telling you what the police are saying, not just what their synopsis is of the case. What are the police saying? What is their justification? What is the evidence? What does the search warrant say? You need to look at websites that are giving you all of the information and not just some of the information. So, I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know. Is BT I'm tripping on my own or something? Stop disseminating poor and bad information, acting not in good faith. I'll see you guys on the next one. Follow the store, follow the channel. Y'all know what it is. I'm out.
Police are investigating a crime spree that stretches from the north side to Pilsen in a matter of hours.
WGN's Dana Rebick joins us now live with that story. Dana?
Chicago police believe these could be the same offenders connected to at least 8 separate crimes, mostly carjackings and armed robberies. And in one case, they stole a silver Jeep Cherokee. It had distinctive vanity plates and bumper stickers, and that vehicle was spotted by multiple victims at several different crime scenes.
Women, especially new to the area, it's definitely a little scary to hear.
Elena Herbst and her 2 roommates recently graduated from college and moved to Lakeview. They just learned of a Sunday crime spree in their neighborhood and surrounding area. Chicago police say this all started around 9:30 a.m. yesterday in the 3200 block of North Southport. A 48-year-old woman was unloading groceries from her car when a man asked for directions, then pulled out a gun and stole her gray 2019 Subaru. Another car was stolen about a half hour later in the 2900 block of North Mildred. At 10:20, 2 men stole a silver Jeep Cherokee near a Starbucks at 3649 North Clark. That vehicle was seen along with a black Jeep Cherokee at several other crime scenes in Wicker Park, Westtown, and Lakeview. The offenders robbed multiple people at gunpoint. Two women walking near Racine and Cornelia around 2 p.m. say the offenders pushed one of them down and stole the other's purse at gunpoint, fleeing in a silver Jeep. They say up to 6 men were split between the two Jeep Cherokees.
It just reinforces why we need to kind of stick together, walk together, which definitely puts it into perspective. I mean, we own a Jeep, and so it's like a little too fitting hearing all of this. We've always kind of stuck together, being more aware, so we're kind of used to that. But again, it's easy to kind of let loose, get comfortable. So to have this reminder and not from us experience it, what is, I think, important.
Now, besides the black and silver Jeep, the offenders were seen in a black Toyota sedan and that stolen gray Subaru Outback. The silver Jeep Cherokee had a distinctive vanity plate that began with the letters NOLL. If you have any information, call Chicago Police. Live in Lakeview, Dana Rebick, WGN News.
Renter Troy Boyle, his living situation suddenly unlivable.
I'm depressed, I'm angry, I'm panicky. Probably panicky is the overriding emotion.
All after he found the writing on the wall taped to his front door.
They taped a notice to my door that said, you have 30 days to find a new place to live because your lease is not being renewed.
He's rented this Ellesmere home for 4 years, but now being told he has to leave. Since he has COPD, he was hoping to get some relief from the CDC order.
I scanned the letter and uploaded it to them, but they haven't replied in positive or negative.
And he might not. Here's the counterintuitive reason why. His rent is up to date. He's being told he has to leave because his lease is up. The order says he may still be evicted for reasons other than not paying rent.
And the way it's been interpreted by our attorneys, and what it says on the site, that all other lawful forms of eviction can continue.
Jesse Brewer is a property manager for the home where Troy lives. He says the owner wants to sell the property, the money. Ironically, he says it's because of some of the regulations that have forced landlords to continue leasing during the pandemic without getting paid. And now that's squeezing them.
And I think one of the unintended consequences of these moratoriums is situations like this.
Now, this is all so new that if there is a disagreement over whether a tenant is covered by the CDC order, no one knows exactly who makes that decision. It could come down to a judge. Ryan Hemrick, WLWT News 5.
Now, see, that's information. Because you don't know. You don't know if somebody in your family could be facing that.
And let's get to that gruesome discovery in some South suburban Markham.
Jermont Terry live outside the police department. Jermont, police say the family had no idea.
Erica, family members were here at the police station late tonight answering questions from detectives. I'm told that they are cooperating in this investigation. Police telling me that the family suspected something was strange about the suitcases, but no one expected body parts.
Markham police spent much of Tuesday outside this house on 164th and Wood. David Scott didn't think much of the cops across the street at first.
By the time I ran to the neighborhood store, came back, that's when I saw the yellow tape from the crime scene. I knew something was bad had happened here.
But he, along with the family living here, didn't realize how bad things were. Markham police telling me the homeowner's son recently came to visit from Kentucky.
Brought with him luggage, bags,
heavy luggage, and inside the dismembered body parts of a woman. Police say the man boarded a Greyhound bus in Louisville, Kentucky, traveling more than 5 hours with those body parts to the Harrison bus station in downtown Chicago. His family picked him up, brought him and those bags to this house in Markham.
That's even more crazy. Traveling body parts.
Chief Terry White insisting the family did not realize what was in the bags. But after a few days, it became odd when the man never unpacked, but he kept guarding the suitcase.
There was some early reports of a foul odor coming from the back.
Tuesday morning, the man left the house and headed to the Markham Library, leaving the suitcases behind. When family finally opened the suitcase,
the human body part was discovered. They immediately backed away and called police.
Police found several chopped up body parts of one woman, a crime they believe happened in Kentucky but unraveled in Markham.
Stuff like this on TV. You know, see stuff like this from your next cross-street neighbor.
Now, those suitcases were in the home for several days. Tonight, investigators from Markham, the FBI, and Louisville all looking into this case. I'm told that the woman and or the body could be linked to a woman that was reported missing in Louisville last week. Tonight, that man remains here in custody at Markham PD. Reporting live in Markham tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS 2 News.
Ron, thank you.
Why would you bring the body parts home? Why would you bring the body parts home? I like to ask the retardism. Why would you bring the body parts back home? Anybody want to take a shot at that? That's what I said. If you kick them out, you're going to get new tenants with money. And he said exactly that. He said 40 million people are out of work. Tony said 40 million as of now. Tony said a lot of people are going to be homeless. Echelon said roughly. Tony said why? He said people go back to work to get off the rolls and the ratio of 5-12 get on unemployment. Tony said be right back. Need to get my undergarments from the basement. Okay. All right, y'all. See, a lot of people don't realize, they think that the evictions are on a moratorium, meaning that evictions can't happen. No. You had to be able to prove that you can't pay your rent because of the coronavirus. So if you get a check, and you get the same check you get every month, you can't say. Like I can't file for the moratorium. And if I get the CV and I can prove I was hospitalized and I had to spend some of the money, some of the rent money on medications, then I could get the help. That man paid his rent. The landlord wanted to sell the building. The landlord is saying because of the CV, people ain't paying him. So he wanted to sell a building. The moratorium doesn't cover that. I said, your mad people are losing everything, their whole livelihoods. No home, no business, no jobs. They did this as on purpose, in my opinion. I believe that they allowed this to happen. I really do. They're going to make money off that vaccine. And for those of you who say you ain't going to take it, watch. They're going to make you take it. They're going to make you take it. They gonna make that money off of that vaccine. Fauci said that if they do come up with a vaccine, it's only going to be for 75% of the population. So 25% of the people still going to have CV, and 5% of them going to die. Still going to have a death toll. Still going to have people infected, even with the virus out. It's going to take a while for the people to get the virus. People going to drop dead while they waiting to get a shot of the virus. Well, only those with the money get the first shots. Well, the poor people have to get it last. So where they keep dropping off, where the elderly have to get it last, where they keep dropping off. I told you. 200,197 deaths. So we had 199,000 on the dot yesterday. So that means that 1,197 people died today. 1,097 people died today. We'll see when we get down there. 6,788,147 cases of the CV. 200,197 died. Closed cases out of that almost 7 million. 4,268,283 we have an outcome. 4,068,086, 95% have recovered. 2,197, 5% have died. So we still at 5% mortality. Hit that magic button. Brother Derek, right on the money. 1,197 deaths. So let's get it. I'm going back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali. Yeah, I don't like it there. They got 2,822 new cases. California lost 153 people today. Told y'all business will pick up. Texas, 4,667 new cases. They lost 148 people today. Florida, sweet Florida. 3,116 new cases. Florida lost 139 people today. New York City picked up 805. They opened them restaurants up. They lost 13 people today. Georgia, sweet Georgia on my mind. They picked up 1,496 cases. They lost 45 people in Georgia today. Georgia is approaching 300,000. They coming for you, New York. Illinois, right behind Georgia. 1,466. They lost 18 people. Arizona, 484 new cases. They lost 22. New Jersey, the old number 2. They picked up 469 cases. They lost 8. Who's coming for New Jersey? North Carolina. They coming for them. 1,106. They lost 51 people in North Carolina today. And check it out. 13,000. Difference between North Carolina and New Jersey. Tennessee, 957 new cases. They lost 30. Louisiana, 371. They lost 26. Pennsylvania, 1,036. They lost 5. Alabama, 701. They lost 32. Ohio, 962. They lost 82. Virginia, 943. They lost 96. South Carolina, 790. they lost 21. Massachusetts, 313, they lost 6. Michigan, without doubt, 682, they lost 11. Maryland, oh Maryland, my little state of Maryland, 599 new cases in my state today. We lost 10 people. Thank God I ain't one of them. Missouri. They picked up 1,837. They lost 26. Indiana, ooh-wee. Don't tell me fat meat ain't greasy. They picked up 689 cases. They lost 21. Wisconsin, 1,348 new cases. They lost 10. M-I, crooked letter, I. Crooked letter, I. Humpback, I. Mississippi, 505 new cases. They lost 28. Minnesota, 402 new cases. They lost 5. Washington State, 363. They lost 9. Iowa, 446. They lost 10. Nevada, 226. They lost 26. Arkansas, 730. They lost 18. Oklahoma, 1,091. They lost 7. Colorado, 400. They lost 6. Utah, 562. No losses. Kentucky, 718, 9 losses. Connecticut, 136, no losses. Kansas, 280, 22 losses. Nebraska, 328, 1 loss. Idaho, 278, 4 losses. Oregon, 178, 8 losses. New Mexico, 81, 7 losses. Rhode Island, 120, 3 losses. Delaware, 200, and they lost 1. South Dakota, 193, no losses. North Dakota, 233, 2 losses. District of Columbia, 65, no losses. West Virginia, 156, 5 losses. Hawaii, 65, 1 loss. Montana, 137, 2 losses. New Hampshire, 34, 2 losses. Alaska, 42, no losses. Maine, 15, and then lost 1. Wyoming, 46, no losses. Vermont, 6, no losses. Guam, 39, 2 losses. No stats for the Maria Islands. The Mariana Islands, Mariana, whatever. Puerto Rico, roll that off. Puerto Rico, 422 new cases, they lost 9. Virgin Islands, picked up 4, no losses. No stats for the U.S. military. Veteran Affairs picked up 198, they lost 35. Federal prisons, they got 84 and they lost 1. Navajo Nation picked up 5, no losses. Total, 6,788,147. New cases, 36,447. Total deaths, 200,197. New deaths today, 1,197 United States citizens died today. But the president says it's going to go away. 200,000 dead. 200,000 dead on his watch. Who am I said they going back up slowly? Who am I said, damn it, PA. Yeah, you know, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia is driving that. Echelon said bomber. Tony said the Northeast states look like on a decline for now. Who am I said, Tony, today's numbers are higher than Monday's. Tony said, really? Naya said, yes, who am I? The holiday weekend gatherers are being detected. I told y'all, everybody freaking on each other all weekend, playing around at the beach. The numbers always go up. Who am I said, yeah, Tony, for real. Who am I said, nah, you put the schools are opening back up. Tony said, not all. Who am I said, not all, but some. Who am I said, there are 2 days in person, 3 virtual. Tony says, my city, no school still. Who am I said, Tony, where I'm at, they reopened Monday, but I have my kids all remote. That's a shame you gotta have your kids remotely. But the president say, 200,000, they black people, they old, whatever. Gotta get that economy going. Gotta get that economy going. We don't care about the minorities. We don't care about the old folk. They were old anyway. They were gonna die anyway. Get rid of the weak. If you can't work, I ain't got no use for you. That's Donald Trump. You ain't making no money for the economy, get out. I don't need you. Who am I said I work from home, it's hard, but I gotta do what I do. Yeah, you waiting on the Republicans. And Nancy Pelosi. It's a daggone shame that they won't give the people what they need. To know that people in Canada, they've been getting $2,000 a month. They're gonna get $12,000 for this year's up. $12,000. And we got these imbeciles crying over $1,200. They get $2,000 a month every month. It's ridiculous. Oh. If we do get the stimulus, I made my decision on what I'm getting. If we get the stimulus, I made my decision on what we get. I thought I put it on the list. Are you serious? I thought I put it on the list. Not that anybody gonna get it. Not that anybody gonna get it. What was it? Now I typed in what I wanted. Why it didn't come right up? Hey, gotta make you look at all this other stuff. Where's my grandma? She's in Texas. She stole the Lexus. She's down Tennessee. I gotta go pick it up. It's not my fault, life sucks. It didn't even pop up. It didn't even pop up. I don't believe it. Neither one of them popped up. Oh, yeah. This is an atrocity with velocity. This is an atrocity with velocity. This is an atrocity with velocity. This is atrocity with velocity. It ain't pop up. Okay, let's do this then. One word. Make it. Oh man. She said, "Where's your grandma? She's down in Texas. Where's your grandma? She lost the Lexus." Are you serious? You pissing me off, Amazon, for real. You're pissing me off, sir. Okay. There it is. God darn. Now, I want this one, but this is $1,000. I want that one. And I put my seat from the scooter on there. I want this one, but I'll take this one. This is 1200 watt. This is 700 watt, but they got 300 watts in each wheel. The bike I got now got one wheel with 250. Yeah. This is almost 3 times the power. And look, it folds up. That boy folds up. Look at the wheels. The wheels got 2 motors. That's a bad mama jama. The wheels got 2 motors, one on each side, 350 watt, and it fold down. Look how it fold down. Fold that down, wheel it right on in social services. Fold it down, wheel it right on in the market, put it in the cart. Break it down and wheel it on in. Look at that. Put the wagon in the back, I'll be good to go. That's a bad mama jama. I like to fold down. I can put it on the landing and leave it right there. But if they give us the $2,000, I'm getting this. This boy, 1200 watt motor, man. You talk about speed. Look at that power. I will put my mobility scooter right there, and I will put the wagon behind there, and we be rolling to the market. We be rolling, rolling, rolling. Boy, those things are swollen. Rolling, rolling, rolling around. All through the weather, I keep it all together. I can't get you out my mind. So hit 'em up. Move 'em out. Hit 'em up. Raw high. Ride 'em in. Ride 'em out. Ride it in, girl. Raw high. Raw high. I said Now, if I find a deal, if I can find a deal, ain't got no price on it. Ain't got no price on it. I said, hit him up, move him out, hit him up, raw high, ride it in, ride it out, ride it in, girl, raw high, raw high. I said, hit him up, move him out, hit him up, raw high, ride it in, ride it out. I said, ride it in, girl, raw high. Boom, boom, boom. Forget it, I don't even see it. Let's go back to the show. All right, I think somebody's saying goodbye. Let me pull the chat up so I can see it. Who am I says I gotta go to bed now. 5:40 a.m. comes quick. You know, I gotta cook my husband and kids a whole breakfast every a.m. Left halal. Echelon says when I get my stimulus, I'm buying Naya and me a first class ticket to get the hell out of the American land. Naya says, good night, who am I? Rest well. Naya says, laugh out loud and Tully on scooters. Who am I said, Naya, thanks, girl. Echelon says, plane. Echelon says, anywhere between Charlotte and Scranton, Pennsylvania. Who am I said, B, Tony, JD, Chung, Naya. See y'all soon. All right, who am I? Don't be a stranger. You know we here every day. Come hang out with us. We here every day. I want to show y'all the footage. Like I said, I had it on the handlebar today, so I really can't, you know, judge it. If you know what I'm saying. I can't judge it. But was there a difference? Now, this was yesterday.
Welcome to the show. We are live. I think somebody got shot. And he care about. I hope they're alright.
So did we ride anywhere?
Thursday. Now we go from Tuesday to Thursday. But okay.
I need a little more information. What can I help you with?
Alright, so I have a problem with FedEx.
I'm trying to find us moving.
And Trump gonna say, look at 2,000 a month. Stuff every day. Every day. Not some of the days. You do it every day. It's the same stuff. It's the same. It gets boring. The same stuff over and over again.
Did we go anywhere? Did we ride around?
Long time.
Oh, it's already there. I thought we rode around some.
Yeah, you bought my ranch. My want to come take it from me. How come that thought never comes through anybody's mind? That thought never comes to anybody. So y'all be sitting out here waiting. I know what's missing. Music.
I thought I went for a ride. Didn't I go for a ride?
Yes, and the guy that. As long as we sit up.
Thank you for calling back.
All right, so I didn't go for a ride. All right, not a big deal. Slide on down. All right. What about this thing? All right, y'all. Are you serious? Yeah. Watching a commercial on my own channel. Are you serious? Now I want y'all to tell me if it's a difference. Oh, heck no, this is terrible. We had to go back to the shoulder mount. That is terrible. All right, now y'all see this. Now we use the Samsung S5, and that's supposed to have video stabilization. So let's see. Is it better? Now it's on the handlebar. And we're doing the same. We're doing the same area. See how I'm sideways? I can only put one foot down. We ain't got no shots. even with the image stabilization, having it on the handlebars make it almost as bad as that way. Did y'all like the first one or the second one better? Right?
A Frederick woman is now charged with the murder of an 81-year-old. Police responded to a home on North Bend Street for a call about an injured person Sunday evening. They were told the 81-year-old fell down the stairs. The chief medical examiner found an apparent head trauma and other unusual circumstances. After being taken into custody, 35-year-old Maria Gloria Vasquez Mevo admitted to hitting the woman multiple times with a blunt object. Johnston for WJZ.com. Oh no, that means that. Over there. All right, let's see what's going on.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. The hurricane, the wildfires, and the ABC News town hall with President Trump amid this pandemic. We will get to it all here, and we begin with Hurricane Sally, set to make landfall within hours. States of emergency warnings up tonight from Louisiana clear across to Florida. This is a slow-moving storm which could make matters worse, expected to dump up to 30 inches of rain with a possible life-threatening storm surge. This hurricane with winds 80 miles per hour. Outer bands already reaching the coast tonight, wind and rain hitting Gulf Shores, Alabama. The images coming in from Florida as well. Rough surf along the shores in Destin, Florida. Flooding already reported tonight. A barge breaking loose, becoming wedged under the Pensacola Bay Bridge. And take a look at the view from space. Bursts of lightning there as this storm closes in on the coast. Hurricane Sally in the coming hours is set to become the third hurricane to make landfall along the Gulf Coast this season alone. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger B with the new track and timing just in tonight. Ginger, what are you expecting?
I am expecting Sally by tomorrow morning making landfall, but we have been feeling the impact all day. I am at the head of the Gulf
All right, who am
River,
I? Have a good one.
Mobile Bay, which is usually very serene. That is obviously not the case with those whitecaps kicking up here. And David, it's as if Sally has been trying to make its way through peanut butter instead of air. It's moving so slow today. It's had a couple of blossoms. I'm going to explain it to you on satellite. About 60 some miles to my south, and it should make landfall again above 70. And timing there shows you along the path. It will make its way then Wednesday afternoon, the far northwest corner of Florida Panhandle, and then south of Montgomery, and eventually out through South Carolina by the end of the week. Before it does that, we've got a tornado watch from Apalachicola to Mexico Beach, Panama City, you're included, all the way here to Mobile. The watch for some spin and some of those outer bands. You also have to know the timing, because this is what's so critical. Tonight we feel that eye shield, right? The shield ahead of the actual eye itself. Watch that stationary front try to trap that storm. 73 miles per hour Mobile, right as it makes landfall somewhere near Gulf Shores or Orange. As it moves to the north, I think we all really feel the impact along the bay here, and it should break open and allow it to move out with this trough. Number one, it is all about the rain. 10 to 30 inches of rain right here through Destin. And then also the surge with the water pushing up. That combination could be life-threatening. Flash flooding, David.
We'll be watching straight through the overnight hours into the early morning. Ginger, our thanks to you again tonight. And as you heard Ginger report there, authorities are warning of potentially deadly flooding, the storm crawling its way toward land and moving very slowly once it gets here, which of course is never good. Senior meteorologist Rob Marciano tonight from Pensacola, Florida.
Tonight, families from the Florida Panhandle to Louisiana bracing for life-threatening flooding from Hurricane Sally.
There's a Category 1 hurricane just 100 miles offshore. It's not really at all.
Watches and warnings in effect for 350 miles of coastline.
We're talking about surge. This ain't the Gulf, this is the Bay. These persistent winds just pushing this water up against these seawalls.
Those waves also slamming this barge right into the Pensacola Bay Bridge, shutting it down. In Mobile County, Alabama, 2 riverboat casinos and a canal breaking free, crushing a dock. Storm surge began inundating Dolphin Island during high tide on Monday. Several drivers who didn't get out in time found their cars buried in sand. But the 30 inches of rain forecast in spots. Alabama's governor urging families along the coast to get out if they still can.
My fellow Alabamians, Hurricane Sally is not to be taken for granted.
That governor older than dirt.
From New Orleans, not the storm surge. Waves raging on Lake Pontchartrain.
So let's get right to Rob Marciano feeling the effects already tonight. He's live from Pensacola, and Rob, we know the conditions really have been steadily getting worse as the afternoon has been wearing on with you.
Oh, absolutely. Matter of fact, David, the last hour, it's really going downhill. It was manageable before, but now we're getting wind gusts that are approaching hurricane force. Look at the action off the bay here. We got waves 5, 6 feet, and this is low tide. Want to show you some of the numbers as far as what wind gusts we've already seen right now? Over 50 miles per hour here in Pensacola. Over 50 miles per hour in Pensacola in Mobile. Already a wind gust measured over 71 miles per hour, and the strongest core of those winds has yet to come onshore. That will be 6 to 10 hours from now, when water here will be at high tide, so it will be even more dangerous, destructive, and life-threatening. David?
And as we look at you, Rob, here live tonight, you know, that's the eastern side of the storm, the dirty side of the storm, as they call it. You're already feeling the effects, Rob. We appreciate this. Stay safe with the crew there, and we'll continue to follow it into the night. In the meantime...
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the...
Georgie Porgy putting in pie. Looked at all the girls and made them cry. That's rough right there. For those of you down there in Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, y'all be careful. Looks like it might even touch some parts of Texas. Alrighty, y'all, let me get out of here. I'm gonna put the AEW doc on. And I'm gonna fall right to sleep. Thanks for dinner, Chung Lee. Still watching there. I'm gonna turn that air off and take me a nap. I'm gonna put the ration on and fall asleep. I got the day off tomorrow, so should be no problem with the sermon. We got won't have no packages to wait for tomorrow. We don't have any packages wait for tomorrow, so should be an easy go. But like I said, I done gave y'all content now. Came out at 12 o'clock. Then I came in and came back live. Then I went and got the seat, and I still got a, it's on there, but it's too high. It's at an angle. So I'm gonna try to raise it down and see if that helps. I'm dead tired, but I'm gonna try. I'm dead tired right now. I know he got that thing on the tight, but I'm gonna see if I can get it to go down. So. Got the wood. I'm gonna try to get it to go down as far as it goes. If I can loosen it without damaging bolt. So oh man. Y'all can see I'm tired. But I appreciate it, y'all. I appreciate y'all spending time with me. That's how I was able to stay strong and keep going. Y'all have a good night. I appreciate everybody that watches. Like and subscribe to the video. Become a member if you haven't already. And let's try and take this channel and let it be the opposite of the BS. Let us be opposite. Let us be the thorn that stand out. Let us be the beacon of light in this sector full of darkness. I love y'all, and I will see y'all later on today. As Naya said, she said she'll see you soon. I say I'll see you later on today. So everybody, have a good night and rest well. Thanks to everybody that came by. Naya, John Lee, Nazi, Tony, Echelon, JD, Tony, Who Am I? Did the driver come by? Time. NC, wherever you are, still a part of the family. Whenever you want to come back, we'll be right here waiting for you. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you later on. Have a great night, y'all. All the sermons tomorrow. So make sure y'all here for the Wednesday Bible study. Peace, everybody, and we are out.